Writing on writer's block. Haven't slept in days, they wanna put me in a psycho watch.
Welcome back to Writer's Block. This is a series where I'm documenting me writing my first book because I wish great writers documented their journey. So I've been writing a book since the first day of the year, and I've written every single day, and it's now April 5th, I think, and I'm about 108 pages into the book. So I'll be finishing the book way quicker than I intended, at least draft number one, or maybe it's about on pace as I intended. I guess it really has kind of I'm going to be approaching May. My college courses are going to be concluding and my draft will be done, and then I'll be editing, and I'm sure there will be videos that will come from the editing process. But today I wanted to talk about creative juice, and that's how Hemingway calls it. I read a lot of Hemingway's interviews, his letters. There's a few PDFs that I found that are Hemingway's advice on writing, and in a collection. I think there's something called On Writing by Hemingway or something, where it's just a collection of everything he said about writing. And he's a massive proponent of not writing yourself out and stopping when you have a bit of juice. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I wrote, used all my juice, and now I can't write anymore. So I have followed this line of thought. And today I wanted to make a proper YouTube video. I wanted to go out, film, but I wrote 1,000 words today. So typically I'm writing 500 on average. And so today I doubled it, and I was just writing for quite a while. So the point is, you have a specific amount of creative energy to allocate. The best time to allocate it, or the time when it's most readily available, is always going to be in the morning. I think that you should always do your toughest task first, which is trivial. It's nothing original that I created, but your most youthful energy is going to be at the beginning of the day. And then as the day progresses, you're going to slowly lose energy. And that's biological. I made a video on that called the Science of an Empty Schedule or something like that. It did pretty well. And to me, I've started now writing very first thing in the morning. It's really helped me. I've also found myself become way more comfortable with writing. When I first began the book, it felt like this really sacred ritual in a way, but now I can just sit down and write. And maybe it's because I'm far enough along in the book that I feel like I trust myself with it. I don't have to really put myself in any sort of mindset. I know the characters, I know how the story's going, and it's flowing. So it's been a lot easier to just sit down and write without any anxiety of whether or not my writing's gonna be good. I'm gonna publish on Amazon, and I looked into how that process works, and it literally, you can just do it overnight. It's so easy. You just go on there, upload, you can design your cover on there. I'm gonna design my cover my own, but I have no idea when I'll release it, but it'll be this year for sure. And that was my plan. I think summer, it'll probably be done by the end of the summer. I'm guessing editing won't take longer than the actual book, but who knows? As far as everything else in my life, I've kind of embodied the writer kind of, I guess, and everything lately has been in support of writing the book. I'm just in school. I don't have a job, so everything I'm doing is kind of towards the book. So I don't have much else to say. I wanted to make sure I made a video for the week. Number two, I wanted to not abandon this series, which I wouldn't do, but I just haven't had anything new. I've just been engulfed in writing. Another thing is, if you talk about what you're doing too much, it kind of cripples the process a little bit. So I wanted to be sure not to remove some of the magic of the writing process and just dissect every single thing I'm doing. So sometimes I just want to write and not explain how it occurs. But I'm sure my mindset has kind of changed over the course of this series for anyone who has stuck along and blah, blah. So it's been very, very fun. I'm going to conclude this video here. If you have any questions or I guess videos you want me to make about writing, let me know. But this is all I got. Peace.